Anger is an emotion that many people struggle with. It's a powerful feeling that can quickly take control of our thoughts, behaviors, and reactions. Yet, what if you could learn to manage your anger, not through suppression, but through understanding and transformation? This is where Stoic philosophy comes in. Stoicism, an ancient school of philosophy founded in Athens, teaches that we should focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. It emphasizes self-discipline, rationality, and emotional resilience tools that are essential for overcoming anger. The Stoics believed that anger is not only unproductive, but also self-destructive. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all spoke at length about how to manage anger and transform it into calm, measured responses. This video will take you through Stoic principles that will help you say goodbye to anger forever. By understanding the nature of anger, how it develops, and how to address it, you can transform your emotional state and gain more control over your life. Let's dive into the teachings of Stoicism and learn how you can conquer anger once and for all. Chapter 1. The nature of anger. Before we can deal with anger, we need to understand its true nature. Anger is a reaction to the perception that we have been wronged, that something unfair has happened, or that things are not going our way. It is an intense emotional response, often accompanied by frustration, irritation, or resentment. According to the Stoics, anger arises from unrealistic expectations and a misunderstanding of what is within our control. When things don't go as planned, we react with frustration. But the truth is, much of what happens in life is outside our control, and expecting the world to conform to our desires is a recipe for constant anger and disappointment. One of the key principles in Stoicism is to recognize the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. The Stoics divided life into two categories: things we have power over, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and things we have no control over, external events, other people's actions and outcomes. Anger often stems from focusing too much on the latter. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a devout Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple statement holds the key to controlling anger. If you learn to focus your energy on what you can control, your thoughts and actions, you will no longer feel anger towards things that are outside your influence. Chapter 2. The root of anger. Unrealistic expectations. A major cause of anger is the gap between our expectations and reality. We expect people to treat us in a certain way. We expect situations to unfold as we wish, and when these expectations aren't met, we become angry. However, according to the Stoics, these expectations are flawed because they assume the world owes us something. The Stoics believed that life is unpredictable, and trying to impose our desires on it is futile. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about anger in his work, On Anger. He argued that anger arises from our belief that we deserve certain things from life and other people. When reality doesn't align with these beliefs, we feel wronged and react with anger. Seneca's solution is simple. Manage your expectations. Understand that the world is indifferent to your desires. People will behave as they will, situations will arise as they do, and expecting anything different is setting yourself up for disappointment and anger. Imagine you are stuck in traffic and you feel yourself becoming angry. You expected a smooth ride home, but now you are facing delays. The Stoic response would be to question your expectation. Why did you assume the roads would be clear? Is it within your control to change the traffic? Once you adjust your expectations and accept reality as it is, the anger dissipates. Chapter 3. How to practice. Emotional detachment. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal for dealing with anger is emotional detachment. This does not mean becoming cold or indifferent, but rather learning to separate yourself from your emotions and observe them objectively. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that events themselves are not inherently good or bad. It is our judgment of these events that causes emotional reactions. He famously said, "It is not things that upset us, but our judgments about those things." To practice emotional detachment, you must develop the habit of pausing when you feel anger rising. Take a step back and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What judgment am I making about this situation that is causing my anger? By questioning your emotional responses, you create distance between yourself and your feelings. This allows you to respond calmly rather than react impulsively. For example, let's say a coworker makes a rude comment. Your immediate emotional response might be anger, as you perceive their comment as an attack on your character. However, by practicing detachment, you can pause and assess the situation. Is their comment really a reflection of you, or is it more about them and their own issues? By detaching yourself from the situation, you can avoid being consumed by anger and respond in a more rational and composed manner. Chapter 4. Shifting Perspective. Embrace the Stoic view of the world. A key principle in Stoicism is the idea that we should accept the world as it is, rather than how we want it to be. This principle, often referred to as amor fati, or love of fate, teaches that everything that happens is part of the natural order of the universe. By embracing this mindset, you can let go of anger and frustration, because you no longer fight against the inevitable. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about accepting fate and understanding that everything happens for a reason. He believed that we should welcome whatever comes our way because it is part of the greater design of the universe. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, he wrote in his famous work, Meditations. This shift in perspective is crucial for managing anger. Instead of seeing obstacles as personal affronts or sources of frustration, the Stoics teach us to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. When you stop resisting what happens and instead embrace it, you remove the emotional charge that leads to anger. If, for instance, you experience a setback at work or in your personal life, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, you can view the situation through a Stoic lens. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? By reframing the situation in this way, you prevent anger from taking hold and instead focus on positive outcomes. Chapter 5. The Power of Control. Mastering your responses. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over how we respond to them. This is where true power lies. Anger is often a result of feeling powerless in a situation. But by mastering your responses, you take back control of your emotional state. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. This simple idea is transformative. If you can control your reaction, then no external event can make you angry. Anger, in this sense, is a choice, a habitual reaction that can be unlearned. One method to master your responses is through the practice of mindfulness. By becoming more aware of your thoughts and feelings, you can catch anger before it spirals out of control. Mindfulness allows you to pause, assess the situation, and choose a measured response. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic, your habitual response might be to get angry and react impulsively. However, by practicing mindfulness, you can catch that initial surge of anger, recognize it as just an emotion, and choose a different response. Instead of honking your horn or yelling, you can remind yourself that their actions are outside your control and let it go. Chapter 6. Practicing forgiveness and compassion. Another crucial Stoic strategy for managing anger is practicing forgiveness and compassion. Seneca wrote that anger is often directed at others because we forget that everyone is human and prone to mistakes. The Stoics teach us that instead of reacting with anger, we should strive to understand and forgive others for their faults. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. By accepting that people will act in ways that are not always kind or fair, you remove the expectation that others will behave perfectly. Compassion is also a powerful antidote to anger. When you see someone acting out of anger, rudeness, or hostility, rather than reacting with your own anger, try to see their behavior as a reflection of their own inner turmoil. They may be acting out because of their own frustrations or challenges. By practicing empathy, you can disarm your anger and respond with kindness instead. The Stoics believed that everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge and understanding they have. When you adopt this mindset, it becomes easier to forgive others and let go of anger. Chapter 7. Using time and patience to diffuse anger. Anger is often an immediate, impulsive reaction to a perceived wrong. The Stoics taught that by delaying your reaction, you give yourself time to cool down and think more clearly. This simple strategy of patience can be incredibly effective in managing anger. Seneca advised that when you feel anger rising, you should take a moment to step back and allow time to pass. He wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. By allowing time to intervene, you can prevent yourself from reacting in a way that you might later regret." Chapter 8. Reflection. The Stoic practice of self-examination. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of daily reflection as a tool for personal growth and emotional control. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on his actions and thoughts, analyzing where he could improve and how he could better align himself with Stoic principles. One of the most powerful ways to manage anger is to regularly reflect on your own behavior. At the end of each day, take time to review your interactions and assess how you handled situations that triggered anger. Ask yourself, what caused me to feel angry today? How could I have responded differently? What can I learn from this experience? By engaging in this practice of self-examination, you become more aware of your emotional triggers and patterns. This awareness allows you to catch anger early and prevent it from escalating. Over time, reflection helps you cultivate a calmer, more rational approach to life's challenges. Self-examination is not about self-criticism, but about learning and growth. The Stoics believed that we should strive for progress, not perfection. Each day presents an opportunity to improve, and by reflecting on your actions, you take an important step toward overcoming anger. Chapter 9. The role of virtue in overcoming anger. For the Stoics, living a virtuous life was the ultimate goal, and virtue was the key to emotional resilience. They believed that anger is often a sign that we are out of alignment with virtue, particularly the virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Wisdom teaches us to understand the world and ourselves, helping us to see situations clearly without the cloud of emotion. Justice reminds us to treat others with fairness and compassion, even when we feel wronged. Courage gives us the strength to face challenges without resorting to anger, and temperance helps us maintain self-control and moderation in our reactions. By focusing on cultivating these virtues, you naturally reduce your tendency towards anger. When you prioritize wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance in your life, you develop the emotional resilience needed to handle difficult situations with grace and calmness. The Stoics believed that a virtuous life leads to inner peace and tranquility. When you live in accordance with virtue, external events lose their power to disturb your emotional state. You become less reactive and more centered, allowing you to navigate life's challenges without falling into anger. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Stoic philosophy and how it can help you say goodbye to anger forever. Remember, anger is not something that has to control you. By practicing patience, reflection, and embracing Stoic virtues, you can learn to respond to life's challenges with calmness and clarity. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on Stoicism and personal growth. Drop your thoughts or experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've applied these principles in your own life. And as always, remember, true strength is not found in how loudly we react, but in how wisely we respond. Until next time, stay resilient, stay calm, and keep striving for the best version of yourself. Thanks for watching.